Boy, oh boy, oh boy, I'm delighted to welcome you to the program here tonight. This is just our little old virtual Dominion Energy Jazz Cafe with some fire I've never had on this stage before. Tonight, we're very excited to welcome from the great beyond, and for all of our listening and viewing pleasure, Miss Ella Fitzgerald and Frank Sinatra.
Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see.
Bluebirds singing a song, nothing but bluebirds all day long.
Never saw the sun shining so bright,
Never saw things going so right.
noticing the days hurrying by. When you're in love, my, how they fly.
How they fly.
Yes, they fly.
Should we fly?
Let's fly.
Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing a song, nothing but bluebirds all day long. Yeah, never saw the sun shining so bright,
Never saw things going so right.
noticing the days hurrying by.
When you're in love, my, how they fly.
Blue days, all of them gone.
But blue sky.
Everywhere blue skies, nothing but blue skies from now on. I know you, don't I?
Oh, I know you.
Boy, this feels real familiar.
Oh, this feels so familiar, even from the great beyond.
I know. It feels like it's right there. It seems we stood and talked like this before. We looked at each other in the same way then. Can't remember where or when.
The clothes you're wearing are the clothes you wore.
This old thing.
That smile you were smiling then. But I can't remember where or when.
Some things that happen for the first time seem to be happening again. And so it seems that we have met before and laughed before and loved before, but who knows where or when? actually got to finish that this time.
Exactly. Of course we know each other, Mr. Frey. It's so wonderful to be on this stage with you.
It's really great to be here with you. You know, there's a lot of familiar things about this place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, everything from the mic stand to the bandstand, the way you stand, the way you smile, the way you wear your hat, the way you sip your tea, the memory of all that. No, no, they can't take that away from me.
The way your smile just beams, the way you sing off key, the way you heart of my dreams, they can't take that away from me.
We may never, never meet again on that bumpy road to love.
Still I'll always, always keep the memories of the way you hold your knife,
The way we danced until 3.
the way you changed my life.
No, no, they can't take that away from me.
No, they can't take that away.
They won't take that away.
Oh,
'Cause
no,
they can't take that away from me. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be treated to a wonderful treat. One of the greatest jazz virtuosos in history will treat you to her rendition of Mr. Paganini. If you will, the First Lady of Song, Ella Fitzgerald.
Why, thank you, Frank. The concert was over at Carnegie Hall. The maestro took bow after bow. He said, my dear friends, I have given my all. I'm sorry, it's all over now. Then from the balcony, way up high, was it Robert? There suddenly came a mournful cry. Oh, Mr. Paganini, please play my rhapsody. And if you cannot play, won't you sing it? And if you can't sing it, you simply have to read do you didn't do the E-A-I-O. Mr. Paganini, we breathlessly await your masterful baton gone and singing. And if you can't swing it, you simply have to do you do you do the do we heard your repertoire at the final bar. We greeted you with a round of applause. But one a great ovation for your interpretation. Oh, I never cared much for moonlit skies. I never winked back at fireflies with you. So Paganini, please don't be a meanie. What have you up your sleeve? Gone and sling it. And if you can't swing it, you simply have to. Mr. Paganini, please play my rhapsody. And if you cannot play it, won't you sing it? If the boys are popping, ain't no need to stop it. Do you do, dee do, Mr. Paganini, we breathlessly await your masterful baton. Go on and swing it. If the boys are popping, ain't no need of stopping. We heard your repertoire, and at the final bar, we greeted you with a round of applause. What a great ovation! Your interpretation. Stop a boy, do you do the boy, do you do do? Baba boy, do the boy, do you do? Mr. Paganini, now don't you be a meanie? What have you got up your sleeve? Go on and swing it. And if you can't swing it, you simply have to swing it. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. You know, sometimes when friends have been together for a really long time, they will get on each other's nerves.
Really?
Yeah, even in the afterlife.
I've not heard that.
But you know what I say to that? I thought I found the man of my dreams. Now it seems this is where the story ends. So, come on, Frank, can't we be friends?
I like the way that Pearl Bailey sings when she swings. Man, the way that gal can send.
Well, you better cut that out or we ain't gonna be friends.
And I like the way that Dinah Washington wails when she sails. Man, the way that gal ascends.
You get on my nerves, my friend, and we can't be friends.
I feel reborn when I hear Lena Horne. Now there's a style that's a mile out in front of the rest.
But Frank, dear, I'm your guest.
When Della Reese gets set for a note, here's a quote: no one blends the way she blends.
You get on my nerves, my friend, and we can't be friends.
I've been putting you on.
Well, one more riff like that, Frank, I'll be gone.
When they're through, they'll just be you leading the rest.
Am I ever your guest?
Yes. Hey, Larry, start the field 'cause we're done. It's been fun, but this is where the duet ends. As far as we're concerned, we will always be, like to be, have to be, wanna be, bound to be, gotta be, just the ever-loving-est
Friends.
Ella and Frank,
Yes, my love.
let me tell you something. I've been here on this earth almost 38 years now, and it's taken me this long to get on stage with the two of you. And I can't believe, Mama, I made it. I don't know why I looked up, because she's still living.
Mama out there.
Mama out there, so for all of y'all. Before you get on to the second half of your show, because we need more music out of the two of you, would you teach us something about yourselves over here?
Absolutely.
There you go. Little angels in the room. Ella, Frank, thank you so much for that first set of music. I think that there's not a musician alive today or past or future who wouldn't want to get the opportunity to be with the two of you tonight. Thank you for being here.
It is our honor.
As it is mine. Before we get into this discussion with the two of you and little old me, Frank, would you tell me something about your early life and music? How did you get into the business?
Well, I was born December 12th, 1915 in Hoboken, New Jersey, and my father owned a saloon called Marty O'Brien's. Had to have an Irish name, and I used to sing with the player piano, and occasionally people would throw nickels and dimes at me. And then when I realized I had a voice, I used to imitate Rudy Valley, who used to sing with a megaphone. And then when people used to try and throw coins into the megaphone, so the megaphone went the hell away. And then I got hooked up with the Harry James Orchestra in 1939, and 1940 got picked up with the Tommy Dorsey Orchestra. Was the featured boy singer, and noticed how Tommy Dorsey could blow a whole week on one tank of air, and I latched onto his secret real fast. And then from there, it was the elevator to the top, the big up there.
Tell me about that secret that you latched onto.
So Tommy, I would notice that in the middle of a long solo, 18 bars, you never saw his jacket move. And there used to be a little pinhole in the corner of his mouth, and he would sneak himself a little replenishment of that tank of air. And I just saw him just take a real quick breath that nobody else could see. And I thought, man, I wonder if a singer could do the same thing. And so then I used to go to the community pool, the YMCA, and swim laps. And I would keep musical phrases, long musical phrases, unbroken musical phrases in my head. And I would try to swim the length of the pool without coming up. And so somehow I trained the muscle, the tank to expand a little bit. And so I could do kind of what Tommy did. And so I was probably the only American vocalist who ever took singing lessons from a trombone.
You know, Frank, I used to hear studying rumors about Frank and how he could breathe the way you're saying, something like circular breathing that we get out of the brass world. But I'm gonna tell you the truth, I never believed in circular breathing in the brass world either. Till just a few months ago, we have a young man in this town, we call him Saxmo. He stood right up here, and that's the first time I'd seen circular breathing in front of my eyes. And I remembered then thinking that somebody said Frank used to do that. As a
Yeah,
singer.
you can't see a break, man. I mean, when it's done correctly and you're relaxed and it just happens and you're able to carry the melody. And so it was that, but it was also being around all these incredible musicians and learning. Billie Holiday was actually a huge influence on me. Even though people say they can't hear that in my phrasing, I picked up a lot from her. And of course, Bing Crosby, everybody wanted to be him when you were a kid. And so I took my girlfriend Nancy to see a show, sat in the front row, and I said, that's gonna be me one day. And bingo, baby.
Bingo, bongo.
It seems like Nancy had a good time that night.
She did.
It seemed like she did. Well, Miss Ella, the
Yes.
queen, the goddess, the one we all look to when we're learning how to sing.
Oh, goodness.
How'd you get into it, Miss Lady?
Well, for me, singing was not my first love. It was actually dancing.
Really?
I auditioned at the Apollo, and my talent was to dance. And there was a couple of dancers that went right before it was my time to go on. And I had on my best hand-me-downs. This couple had on an amazing sequined, glitzy, blitzy costumes, and they danced. So of course I didn't feel, like I was up to par. So when the announcer came in and said, "Okay, little lady, what are you gonna do?" And I said, "Well, I'm gonna sing." So changed on the spot.
Okay.
And, to my amazement, and probably to them too, won the competition. But when it was time to collect the prize, which was a week's appearances at the Apollo, they decided I didn't look the part. So they didn't give it to me. But it's okay because, let's see, 14 Grammys and a nice career later,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
dancing doesn't really bother me anymore.
I mean, the flexibility,
Oh, yes.
the fluidity, the ease with which you sing, Miss Ella.
Yes.
I think I'm taking my lessons now as I have since my mother introduced me to you when I was a boy in high school.
Well, you know, a lot of that came from, like, as he was saying, watching the instrumentalist. You know, I started out with Chick Webb Orchestra, and then when Chick passed away, I became the leader of the orchestra. So it's being around these stellar musicians where you have to, as a girl, fit in. So what better way to fit in than to make your voice another instrument? So that kind of made you indisposable.
You know what, Ella? That's one of the best lessons that my mama taught me. She sang along with instruments. She taught me to do the same,
Yes,
and here we both are.
and here we are.
Music, I think it's at the core of what you both do. Frank, you spent some time in the film industry as well. Can you tell me about some of those experiences?
Well, there was some stinkers. The immortal Meet Danny Wilson. There was the film Higher and Higher, after which my career got lower and lower. But there were the opportunities to do movies like From Here to Eternity and work with incredible directors. The Manchurian Candidate. You know, it's a different process. Sometimes it's a little frustrating for me because in the recording studio, I have a little bit more say in what happens. We can, but we can also capture that sort of live feeling. And in the movie business, you're telling a story, but you're a small part of it. And so you go off to the trailer and you sit around and stew and stew and stew, and you come out and you try to be relaxed. I try to be one take Charlie and knock it out, but it doesn't always work that way. So sometimes for me, it's a little bit more frustrating than making music. That's the racket that I feel more at home at. But it's all storytelling.
Storytelling, for sure, and it's a good racket. Yeah, what do they say? Nice work if you can get it.
Exactly.
You can get it if you try.
If you try.
Won't you tell me how?
You all sure tried. Somebody told you how, but I didn't have to tell you too much.
Oh, yeah.
Miss Ella,
Yes.
you had some trouble finding a stage early in your career. Well, can you tell me something about that?
Well, I think it was, of course, background. You know, my mother passing away when I was very young from a car accident, and then being transported from my home, which was Newport News, Virginia girl,
Yes, right in the backyard.
you know, up north, and stepfather situation, which wasn't the best. And so it was a difficult time, different, you know, boarding homes, asylum, and then once they didn't have enough space, was shipped off again. And then from there, that's when someone discovered that I had a voice. And that was the introduction to Chick Webb. So in a way, it was a lifesaver. And then from the Chick Webb Orchestra, we went to the Savoy Room, which was a mainstay for quite a while until the open door of travel began. And then that spanned into a wonderful career
Yes, ma'am.
of many stages.
Many stages, and one that we're still remembering today. I'm interested in both of you. We'll go back to Frank here since I'm flipping back and forth. What are some of your great memories, some of your great tunes that people remember you for and that you loved yourself?
Well, one of the first hits was All or Nothing at All, which is just a phenomenal song. And then I'm reminded of the fact that in the 60s, 1966 for the Strangers in the Night album, we dusted that old chestnut off, and Nelson Riddle was able to come up with an arrangement that really kicked. And it was an example of the malleability of music and the ability to tell a story in a bunch of different ways. And I was really proud of that record because we were able to really do some new things with some old material, give it a little juice, and have been fortunate to work with some incredible arrangers and some incredible musicians throughout the years. But that was definitely up there. And then, of course, the first time that I got to work with Nelson Riddle at Capitol, and we knocked out all of those incredible albums over the course of the entire decade of the 50s. He just got me, and I got him, and yeah.
The rest is history, as they say.
As they say, it's history, baby.
Frank, you mentioned the power of music in storytelling. In the industry, we say if you You can't, you know it, I'm sure. If you can't say it, you sing it. If you can't sing it, you dance it. It's dancer. You took that dance background of storytelling and you threw it to the stage with pen and with paper, with song, with quarter notes and dotted half notes.
Absolutely.
Finding the blue sky so
Absolutely.
fit a note in. How have you noticed, or have you noticed, the way you sing influencing those who come behind you? I know for myself, it's the fluidity with which you scat that I think is unparalleled, especially for sure when you were doing it. What were the things that drove you there?
I think it's just the passion for music, passion for the arts, and the passion to continue to thrive in something that makes you happy. You know, make someone happy. If you can't do something that drives your passion, then it's like, okay, what is life worth? About the music. There's nothing better than singing, than more singing.
Yes. Nothing better than, you know, I had a good friend, Carol Bilter. I hope you're watching, Carol, a lady of a certain age. And she once said, honey, the only thing I like with my drink is more drink.
I gotta meet this chick.
Is my drink. I miss her dearly. So Ella, Frank, how do you come together? How do you become Ella and her fella?
How do we come together to become Ella and her fella? Well, I just stand the hell back and get the hell out of the way, because when she's
Smart man.
Yeah, because she is a musical masterclass, and when I'm standing there listening to her do Mr. Paganini or any of these numbers where she's just able to ride the wave and create on the fly. Sometimes she'll do some things in the middle of a scat phrase that you haven't heard before, and she just kicked the energy in the entire room. You can feel the whole place say, "Whoa, what was that?" And you know, for me, I feel sometimes like you know, I'm your by the numbers old school crooner, and so I just take lessons from everybody. That's all.
It's all about coloring outside the lines, you know, and then you bring it back in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of love between the pair of you.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. You know, it's my bud.
I adore her.
For sure. I mean, I think it shows. I think history tells us that same story, you know, and you live it well. Well, Desirée,
Yes.
we'll break the spell for just a moment. Those of you at home, don't break it too much. Scott, thank you for being here with us. What are your experiences with the people you're playing personally? Well, Scott, we'll start with you.
Oh.
What does Frank mean to you?
Frank Sinatra means,
He's Frank.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Frank Sinatra means an awful lot to me, just in terms of, I mean, not only the talent, but the perseverance and the willingness and the need to perform until you're in your, 75, 80, almost 80 years old. There is just there's a drive, and I think it speaks to, the immigrant experience. There's a sense of what's possible in sort of an American dream, this sort of story of this guy's rise from wanting to learn how to do this thing and sing to achieving all these things. And obviously not every element of his story is an instruction manual on how to be in the world.
Right, for sure.
But I think that the main things that I can take away from it are like, love what you do, keep at it, stand up for yourself, and and just keep going. I mean, there's this thing about his story was that in the early 50s, I mean, he was already kind of being viewed as a has-been because he was the boy wonder, and people thought, okay, this is a flash in the pan. He will have been a few years, he was a few years removed from the Bobby Soxers, and then he hit sort of rock bottom, and he reinvented himself. And I think that people like underdog stories like that, and he went from this sort of, guy on the mat being totally counted out to someone who reinvented himself and reached the highest heights. And I think that there's a sense of that story that people relate to. And then there's the music, which is like which is just incomparable. But because it has his character, it has all of the every shade of everything that he was as a person. He let you in, and so there's a lot to be said for sort of like American masculinity.
Yeah.
And the license to be sensitive and vulnerable kind of comes from him. So, you know.
That's what makes you the chairman of the board.
Yeah. Jay got a good nickname. Frank had a
Chairman
lot
of
of
the
buddies.
Yeah.
You know, I could be one your next show.
You bet.
Put a wig on me, whatever you want. I'll sing whatever you say. Desirée,
Yes,
tell me
sir.
something about your experience embodying Ella Fitzgerald.
Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna lie, I was scared out of my BBDs. Because Ella, you know, First Lady of Jazz, the First Lady of Song, First Lady, period. It's like, how do you approach that? And keeping the purity of what she did and who she is and what she was, you know, the scatting. There's a part in the show where he says, no one has done anything like you, that scatting. And I'm like, yeah, really.
I I told you, I'm afraid to sing Mr. Paganini.
Oh my gosh. That song so intimidated me. I mean, and Bo Wilson, who put the new spin on Ella and her fella Frank, which was originally written by Randy Starterman. What was it, over 20 years ago?
Yes, 22 years, so it was 1999.
Yeah.
You originated the role.
Yeah, I
is that
did,
right?
yeah.
And Bo Wilson refreshed it. And when we had our flow, so
And you know,
I'm constantly learning.
you're right. Who's going to find that? Who's going to dream it up? And who's going to decide where it can fit within the musicians who are going to do whatever they're doing,
Exactly.
no matter who you are?
Exactly.
That there's something really powerful behind it.
She
My
brings
voice-
the house down every.
Now, we not to sleep on Frank
Exactly.
and the houses he
Frank
brought down.
does New York, New York. Don't, da, da, da.
Bonk, bonk, da-na-na. I mean,
And everybody sits up, you know, that's like a really cool thing because
start spreading the news.
yeah, with every
Exactly.
show, like there's a framework within there where the appetite from the audience is sort of wet for that song, and then there's like a moment of payoff, and everybody leans into it. But I think that one of the things that makes me excited about it, one is the ability to sing this with a larger orchestra, you know, to really get the brass in it and sort of living in a musical theater world. And the cool thing is, like, just feeling that energy go through you, and you ride the wave of it, and I see you. I mean, we're just sitting there sharing the experience the whole time. So
I mean, the music
yeah.
is it's amazing. John Wynn, who's a saxophonist here, he arranged a lot of the horn parts, but he pulled
Did he?
them from you know, different arrangements that we fell in love with, and to have this 7-piece band on stage with us, you know, in the production. Ella and her fellow Frank running until September 12th at the November Theater.
Get that plug in. That's what we're here for.
Get that plug in. But it's amazing. You feel it. It's almost as if you're sitting, you're gonna bow. It's gonna hit you in your chest, you know. And it's just amazing to sit there and feel that. And I'm giddy every night. I mean, somebody asked me, you know, do you get lockjaw? Because I'm just smiling
Yeah.
the entire
Yeah, me
time,
too.
especially
yeah.
watching you, watching him just live in that moment.
I mean,
You know.
you're two of the biggest performers in town, and two of the only people right now getting to do what you're doing. And what is
That's
it
a
like?
blessing.
I'm supposed to be
Yeah.
wrapping this
Yeah,
up,
no.
but what has it been like? What's the difference between performing in a house at the November with folks in the crowd cheering you on and applauding, and then being here with me where we've got your daughter, and you've got
She's
me.
enough for me.
There you go. What's the energy? What's the difference in energy? Been a while since I've had a crowd.
I'm not gonna lie. I was fortunate to have the opportunity to do quite a few virtual concerts.
I got one.
But yeah, but
We were Nina then.
my drug is an audience and the clapping. That's like energy, you know. And to when we first walk out on stage, you feel it, you know, because the band plays first, and then I come out, the audience gives it to us, and then I sing a little something, and then he starts singing backstage, so you don't see him. Oh, am I giving
And
away
it's all
too much?
downhill from there.
Zip it. And then when he walks out on stage and that spotlight hits him, and he does this kind of,
Frank being Frank.
I love it. It's like you get that energy from the audience, and then we just soar.
Yeah, it's really
So,
something.
Should we fly?
Let's fly.
Let's
We
fly.
better fly.
I've got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me. So deep in my heart that you're really a part of me. I've got you under my skin. I've tried so not to give in. And I said to myself, this affair, it ain't gonna move so well. But why should I try to resist when, baby, I know damn well that I've got you under my skin. I'd sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice comes in the night and repeats in my ear. Don't you know, you fool, you never can win. Use your mentality, wake up to reality. But each time that I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin. 'Cause I've got you under my skin. Sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice comes in the night and repeats how it yells in my ear. Don't you know, you fool, you got no chance to win. Why not use your mentality, wake up, step up to reality. And each time I do, just the thought of you makes me stop just before I begin, because I've got you under my skin, and I love you under my skin. It's a little lumpy, but you're under my skin. Doo-be-doo, doo-be-doo-doo, doo-be-doo, doo-be-doo-doo. So where do we find ourselves? We find ourselves in some strange metaphysical realm, right? Where all this music takes place?
Where it's music heaven.
Really?
Yes.
Say that again. It's what?
Music heaven. We're in heaven. And our hearts beat so that we can hardly speak.
Yeah, heaven.
That's it.
Baby, I'm in heaven.
At BMFA.
And the cares that hung around me through the week seem to vanish like a gambler's lucky streak. 'Cause 'cause we're out together, swinging cheek to cheek.
Oh, I'd like to climb a mountain and reach the highest peak, but I won't enjoy it half as much as dancing cheek to cheek.
Oh, I love to go out fishing in a river or a creek, but I don't enjoy it half as much as dancing cheek to cheek. Dance with me, I want my arm about you. That charm about you will carry me through right up to heaven. We're in heaven, and our heart beats so that we can hardly speak.
And I seem to find the happiness I see.
'Cause we're out together, dancing cheek to cheek.
Cheek to cheek.
Go out fishing
I love fishing.
in a river or a creek, but I don't enjoy it half as much as swinging cheek to cheek.
Come on and
Dance with me, I want my arm about you. That charm about you will carry me right on through to heaven. I'm in heaven, and our hearts beat so that we can hardly speak.
But I seem to find the happiness we see.
When we're out together dancing,
Out together dancing.
out together dancing cheek to cheek.
Well, we absolutely cannot have this reprise of visits from the great beyond
That's right.
without having the chairman of the board sing one of his favorite songs.
Yeah, this one's a saloon song. A saloon song is usually sung at a bar at a bistro at around 2 o'clock in the morning. And it usually centers on some fellow who's fractured, got a couple troubles. You know, something like his broad flew the coop with another guy and all the bread. And so if you'll assume the position of a bartender, this is the way these guys behave. It's 2:45. There's no one in the place except you and me. Set 'em up, Joe. I got a little story I think you should know. We're drinking, my friend, to the end of a brief episode. Make it one for my baby and one more for the road. I know the routine. You put another nickel in the machine. I'm feeling so bad. Can't you make the music easy? I could tell you a lot, but you've gotta be true to your code. Make it one for my baby, and one more for the road. You'd never know it, but buddy, I'm a kind of poet, and I got a lot of things I need to say. And if I'm gloomy, please listen to me till it's talked away. Well, that's how it goes. And Joe, I know you're getting anxious to close. Thanks for the cheer. I hope you didn't mind my bending your ear. But this torch that I've found, it's gotta be drowned, or it soon might explode. Make it one for my baby, and another for the road. The long, damn, it's so long. It's very, very long. And shake it off, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off.
Awesome job, Frank.
Thank you so much. Yeah. We definitely have to, we got to shake off that melancholy because we got a lot to be thankful for,
Oh, yeah.
don't we? What are you thankful for?
Oh, I'm thankful for the afterlife of music and heaven, the stars.
The plentiful creative opportunities therein.
Oh, yes. Like being at the VMFA, a one-time visit, down and back up.
I was saying before, you know, when my parents I told my parents I was going to come to the VMFA, you know what they said? What? Don't touch nothing.
I don't think Robert will let us touch anything.
Like,
That's a whole nother story.
smack.
But you know what? With it all, it's almost as if we have the world on a string.
Mm. I've got the world on a string. I'm sitting on a rainbow. I've got the string around my finger. What a world, what a life, I'm in love.
I've got a song that I sing, I can make a rainbow anytime I move my finger. Lucky me, can you see I'm in love?
Life's a beautiful thing, as long as I can hear you sing.
I feel silly so and so if I should ever let you go.
Yeah, I got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow.
Got the string around my finger.
What a world, what a life, I'm in love. Life's a beautiful thing,
Life's a beautiful thing.
as long as I hold the
As long as I
string.
hear you
I'd be a
swing.
silly so-and-so
Oh, so
if I should
silly.
ever let it go.
Don't let it go.
Man, I've got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Boy, that was fun.
I love it. But you know what?
What?
With this afterlife, there's so many things that we don't have to worry about.
We don't have to worry about the money,
Don't mean a thing.
the cars, the houses,
They don't mean a thing.
the local notoriety.
Well, that might mean something, especially when we have people like Robert Fernard in the audience, the heavenly audience. So you know what we're going to say to you, Robert? Come on up here. You know why? 'Cause it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Do-ah, 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 do-ah. It don't mean a thing. All you gotta do is sing. It makes no difference if it's sweet or hot. Just give that rhythm everything you got. Oh, it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Do-ah, 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 do-ah. It don't mean a thing. All you gotta do is sing. It makes no difference if it's sweet or hot.
Just give that rhythm everything you got. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing.
It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. It don't mean a thing. All you gotta do is sing. Oh, it makes no difference if it's sweet or hot.
Give that rhythm everything you got. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing.
One more time. Do-ah, 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 do-ah. Again. Do-ah, 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 do-ah.
You know what? I wasn't ready. But tonight I lived my dream. Frank Sinatra and Ella Fitzgerald asked me to sing with them. And these guys, we all know you all. Mike, been here 100 times if he's been here once. That's my man back here. Richmond, Virginia, and the world. And heaven above, thank you so much. Didn't we have a ball tonight? Didn't we promise you a ball tonight? It wouldn't have happened without B.J. Brown. Richmond Jazz Society sending her prayers up. opening them doors, bringing y'all back down here. It would not have happened without Dominion Energy giving us an occasion to come together. Y'all wouldn't have seen it, you wouldn't have heard it if it weren't for Remember Tommy Productions and for Chris Buford up in that booth. But none of us would have a reason to be here at all if it weren't for you. So to those of you at home, thank you for loving with us. Thank you for listening to us, and thank you for learning from us. On just a regular old Thursday night in Richmond, Virginia, at the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts, from the Leslie Cheek Theater stage, this has been our virtual Dominion Energy Jazz Cafe. I'm Robert Fennard. Good night.